Professor Layton is one of my favorite game series for the Nintendo DS. I remember it having a pretty decently sized fan base, and the first game alone sold over 3.17 million copies worldwide. There was even a movie, which was actually a good video game based film. Now though, the series seems to have been put on halt, and with Level 5 shutting down their North American operations, it seems the Professor's fate is indefinitely on hold. But even so, I'd say there's no better time like the present to talk about these games. Professor Layton might just be one of the most unique puzzle games you'll ever play. The first entry, Professor Layton in the Curious Village, begins with the professor and his young apprentice Luke traveling to the strange town of Saint Mystere. Here, they hope to uncover the secret of the Golden Apple, the key to the late Baron Reinhold's immense fortune. What follows is an adventure full of mysteries, puzzles, kidnappings, murders, almost getting run over by a fucking Ferris wheel.
That's preposterous!
This game is pretty intense, despite what the charming appearance might have you assume otherwise. Speaking of appearances, this is a very visually pleasing game. The artwork is beautiful, the hand-drawn sprites look great, and there are cutscenes that are fully animated, which are a real joy to watch. It really does feel like a little old-fashioned town in England, which might be why the games are particularly popular in Europe. The character designs are also very good. While a lot of them probably can't be called conventionally attractive, their style is very distinct and fits right in with the quirky charm of the game. But not only does the game look great, it sounds great too. An accordion is used throughout the soundtrack, which is an instrument frequently used in European classical and folk music. So it's pretty appropriate for the game's quaintly British tone. And the music that's used during puzzle segments is calm and relaxing, perfect for helping to take some of the edge off when solving a tough brain teaser. While there aren't as many voice lines in this game as there are in later entries, the voice acting that is present sounds very good. But the voice acting of Professor Layton himself in particular stands out. It's calm and very pleasing to listen to, even during tense moments, while also being appropriately expressive.
But Luke, I can't shake the feeling that this matter is linked to some larger mystery. Something huge.
It's exactly the kind of voice I picture when I think of a proper English gentleman.
Oh, well, Luke, a true gentleman never refuses the request of a beautiful lady.
Wait, so are you saying that if a woman is ugly, you can refuse and still be a gentleman? Joking aside, the professor's gentlemanly demeanor is far from boring, and it's amusing to watch him interact with the many eccentric characters he meets, as well as being a guide to Luke. He's also particularly fond of tea, reading, and puzzles. And I mean, he really loves puzzles. Though to be fair, it seems like everybody else does too. There are exactly 120 puzzles in the game's story, with varying degrees of difficulty. You find them by tapping characters and objects on the touchscreen, which will soon lead you to tapping away like a madman in order to uncover a hidden puzzle or hint coin. The difficulty of a puzzle is measured in points called picarats, and the more picarats a puzzle is worth, the harder it will be to solve. In addition, the picarat worth goes down anytime you answer a puzzle incorrectly. Now, the first handful of puzzles don't seem so bad. They'll definitely make you use your brain, but they also aren't particularly hard either. So this might lead you into a false sense of security. After all, the game's rated E, and the art style is very cartoony, so it seems like it won't be that difficult. And that's exactly when the game will throw a puzzle at you that will kick you to the ground and call you a bitch as your brain tries its damnedest to solve it. And as much as I wish I could say I breezed through the game like a puzzle whiz, let's just say that there were a fair few mid-difficulty puzzles that left me completely clueless, and don't even get me started on the harder ones. The worst ones are the ones whose solutions are obvious once you find the answer, because they make you feel like an idiot the most. Though I am proud to say I did figure out one hard puzzle pretty quickly, and on the first try at that. However, this difficulty is what makes finally figuring out the solutions all the more satisfying. So for as much as I might gripe about how tough the puzzles are, I wouldn't have it any other way. Of course, solving all these puzzles isn't without a good payoff story-wise. One thing that's pretty infamous about the Professor Layton games is that the logical explanation of what's really going on is even more absurd than what it first seemed to be, which leads to an exciting climax. The big twist in this one isn't too crazy in my opinion, but in the original trilogy at least, the plot twists grow increasingly weird. And that's not even getting to that time he teamed up with Phoenix Wright. Despite its zaniness, however, the stories are also often bittersweet in tone by the end, with moments that are both genuinely sad and touching. And the stories are written so well that the quirkiness of the game doesn't detract from the more emotional moments of the story. The third game in particular is just downright depressing. When I first played these games way back when, I wasn't expecting such complex stories, but they're a big part of what made me a fan today. Professor Layton is a quirky, charming, and fun experience for the DS. With puzzles that will make your brain bend over backwards trying to solve them, and stories that will keep you guessing until the end, there really is no game quite like it. While the Professor's adventures might be over for now, it's never too late to experience them for yourself. Thanks so much for watching! If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click like, and subscribe if you want to see more.